Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode in our Build With Me series where we are building an AI app using FlutterFlow and Firebase. In the last couple of episodes, we've went ahead and set up our project as well as designed our UI. And in this episode, we're going to be covering the user flow, navigation, and any pop-ups. So with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so before we even start programming anything inside of FlutterFlow, let's first understand what our user flow is, the actions that our user will take from the minute that they first download the app and open it. So starting off, we have two primary pages when someone first downloads the app. We have a sign in and a sign up. Now these pages should be connected so that the user can navigate in between them. Right? If it's a new user, they want to sign up. If it's an existing user, they want to sign in. But after they do that, they should be brought to a home page. Now this is where our main actions are going to happen throughout the app. What do we want the user to do on these apps? Well, there's two primary call to actions that we want the user to take, and that is creating a story and reading a story. Read story. Now after a user creates a story, they should be navigated to the read story. We don't want them to have to go back up and then back down here. We should just automatically kind of handle that for them. Now the last thing that you can do on the home page is access your profile and then be able to edit your profile once you're in that page. And this is essentially a very simplistic navigation chart. All these pages will be able to go back and forth, and except for this one, these are one directional. And we're going to start building that inside FlutterFlow right now. First, come to your login page and click down on this rich text here at the bottom. Then we're going to click on this A with an underscore and add an action to it by going over to this Actions tab. From there, on tap, we're going to add a navigation to navigate to our sign up page. Excellent. Now we're going to do the same thing for our sign up page, navigating it to the login page. Again, click on the rich text and add an action. On tap, navigate to our login. Okay, so now those pages are connected. Now the next thing we want to do is come over to our home page, and right at this app bar, let's go ahead and click on this profile icon. And we're going to add another action to navigate that to our profile page. And we're going to come over to our profile page. And here we see that there is no navigation back. We're going to go ahead and add a back button. So first thing we're going to do is click on the stack and go ahead and give this a height of 220. Then we're going to drop an icon button in here, and we can style this up however we so choose. So let's do 48, border radius of 12, fill color of secondary background, and a icon color of primary text. Now this is shoved way up in the corner and it won't be visible on most devices. So what we're going to do is wrap this widget in a container, and then on the container we're going to scroll down and click on Safe Area. Now we can go ahead and give the icon some padding of 12, and we are good. Now inside our profile page, we also need to navigate to the edit profile. So again, on tap, navigate to profile, edit profile. And we can go ahead and set up our navigation to navigate back to the home page. So on tap, navigate to home page. Now we're going to come back into our edit profile page, and we're going to add navigation. It already has a navigate back button, but we're going to go ahead and just make sure that navigates to the profile page. And we're also going to add a navigation here. We'll eventually set up the action to save the data, but right now, just for simplicity's sake, let's go ahead and add the navigation to the profile page. Excellent. Here we need to add one more thing of navigation in our read story view. Let's go ahead and make this icon button navigate back to the home page. While we're here, let's make these match what our design system is kind of following, which is 48 and 12. And then just make this a simple back arrow, rounded ideally, and do the same thing for this one, 48, 12, and then we're going to do more as our icon. Okay, so that is the basic navigation. What we're going to work on now is how you navigate from a story item into read view. Now you could simply come up to your container and add the navigation like we have done for the other items, but that's not really the best way to do it, because ideally you'd like to use these containers in your other designs, in other places in your app, and you don't want them only navigating to the read now page. You want to be able to set that action dynamically. So this doesn't necessarily need to be a book. It could be whatever you want to make it. So how we're going to do that is actually coming up to the container part right up here and adding a parameter. We're going to call this onTap action. And then we're just going to set this data type to be an action. And we can confirm it. And then when we click on our container, all we have to do is execute callback. Like so. And then we set our execute callback to that onTap action. And we're going to do the same thing for the large card as well. So we're going to click on our container, add a parameter of onTap action, and set that to an action type and confirm. Then execute callback onTap. So execute callback. And it's that onTap action. Now before we can start testing, there is a little bit of a UI change that we need to make inside our profile. Our design system does not have line color, so let's just set that to alternate and we are good to go. Let's go ahead and test this and see how the navigation is working. So I'm here on my phone and we're going to test out the sign in and sign up. We can see that that's working properly. Now let's go ahead and sign up, create an account. Now we're inside our app. Apologies if it's a little glitchy on here. I'm operating this on my phone. I guess it's not the most clear when it switches over to the computer or projects to the computer. So we're going to test the profile by tapping on the profile icon. And we can see that that works. We're going to hit edit profile. Okay. Everything's working as expected so far. Now these don't have any actions, the story cards, because we didn't end up setting their actions in our parameters. So we'll have to do that. But let's go back to the profile. Let's see what happens when we log out. It does navigate us back to the home page. The next thing that we want to focus on is adding the pop-up windows, including like the bottom sheet for the create a story, as well as the drop-down menu inside of our read story view. We're going to start with the bottom sheet, and before we connect it to any actions, there is a slight modification that we need to make in it because it is taking up the full width. So let's go into our create a story, and we're going to take this column and we're going to drag it to the very top. we're just going to hit replace, and then we're going to wrap the widget again in a container. We are going to give the border radius at the top 32 and 32 and give it a nice fill color of secondary color. Now, head back over to your home page, and on each one of these actions, we are going to open, add an action, and add a bottom sheet. So search for bottom sheet, and then just click on show. Now we have to select a component, which is going to be our create story. And then we're going to set a background color to be that transparent, but we want it to be slightly darker, like 10%. Now the last thing that we want to do is enable drag so a user can swipe down like we talked about earlier. And we are all set. We can simply close out of that, click on these three dots, and copy action. Now we just got to head over to our floating action button, paste actions. We have to head over to our empty list and also paste the actions. Now we are ready to test whether or not this is working. Let's go ahead and hot reload our app and test it out. Okay, so we can see that the component is popping up. Let's try that again. All right, so we have this automatic focus here. I might actually want to remove that and do away with this spinning action here. We can go ahead and test it on the fab button too. We can see that pops up pretty nicely. So we're going to come back to our create a story component. And first off, we are going to make sure that this is scrollable and that our container has a safe area. Next, we're going to come into the description and just remove this autofocus. Now if we hot reload our app, and we'll see if that works. No longer have that autofocus and the button is properly set. And we can see that we can drag it and drop it, or not drag and drop, but drag this, but we still need to fix this like loading icon up here. And the way to do that is inside our homepage, on this create now button, just remove, or just click on this non-blocking. That just means that it will be able to finish its actions. It's not waiting for an input from here. And we can do that with the fab button as well, non-blocking, and of course our empty list widget. All right, so the next step is to add the drop-down menu into our read story view. Now before we can do that, we actually need a way to navigate to this page. So let's go into our home view. And let's just add an action to one of these cards. It's going to be a callback action, and then we can just simply add the navigation to read story view. I'm going to delete these other cards and then just duplicate these again just for design purposes. So I can copy this, and I'm going to delete these, and then I can paste with Control V, Control V. Now another thing, while I'm here, I recognize that there was some overflow by a pixel, so let's just simply bump this up to 350, not 3,350, but just 350. And we're going to do the same thing for this one down here. We're just going to bump this container up to 350. Excellent. Now we navigate to our read story view, and on this button right here, we want to show a menu. So let's go ahead and open our actions, and on tap, we are going to show a custom dialog. Now, it's a little finicky on how this dialog alignment works, and I'm going to be honest, I don't completely understand it myself. A lot of times it's just trial and error until you get something that you like by either modifying the padding around the widget itself or just toying around with the dialog alignment here. But I ended up going with the top left and then top right for the target widget, and that seems to be working pretty well regarding where this menu should be. And that brings us to the end of this video. We have successfully set up our navigation and our pop-ups, and are ready to start making our UI dynamic in the next one. So if you guys like this type of content and want to see more of it, please consider giving me a like, comment, and maybe a subscription if you guys feel so inclined. It really does mean the world to me, and I appreciate each and every one of you that does. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye, y'all.